This video is merely made for entertainment purposes. Please do not take this too seriously, as for this is only for like a book or some sort of writing. It's not meant to be harmful. It's not real. Just something made up for the purpose of entertainment. Please enjoy. So please don't take anything literally, like I said. This is not connected to any real life events. This is all made up. Okay, then please enjoy. Welcome guys back to another video, but today, well, you may be expecting another video about a Roblox game, but it's actually not that. Well then, yeah, so basically, it's not that, it's about, I'm so puzzled. This is a bit strange to tell you, but I've actually been trying to write a book, because I'm interested, I'm creative, I like doing all that kind of stuff, But here is one part about all of it. It is the fact that well, how's it? Before I get into it really now, you may be asking yourself, why didn't I double upload like I said? Well, number one, I'm just a bum. Literally, I am a bum. I am pretty lazy when it comes to that stuff. I was trying to look for something to record. I almost had something to double upload. It was something involving Verity, but until I realized I didn't have my microphone on. And so you really can't be, And also, I don't want to have to voice cover it, I did that for one video because I still wanted to upload it, but yeah, it just makes it not very authentic, I'm trying to make my videos more authentic than performative, But, all things aside, yeah. I wanted to make a book, though, or at least one that actually worked, in my opinion. But I've only made chapter 1 so far because, like I said, I'm a bum. But yeah, I wanted to see how well it go. This video is probably going to be really short, but this is just a notice for because this will be hopefully, if I get another chapter done, by the time I upload another video, after I'm done uploading a video, like one of gaming, if I have a new chapter done by that point, I'll read the chapter, at the end, Then please tell me how good it is, I'm trying to improve. And I don't have many, I have my family that can help support and tell me how good it is, but I also want to keep it a surprise as well, though. So I've been using AI because, and now they're smarter than me. They're able, at least they should be able to calculate, or maybe not even calculate, tell me how good it is, what needs to be improved, but I also like feedback from you to tell me so far. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. So yeah, I did this on Google Docs because it's pretty simple. And also, yes, these, in case you're wondering, probably don't even need to wonder, yes, it is, these images here are AI generated. Why? Because I can't do art. And now, it would have been impressive if I could do art, but and now, as we all know, I'm not an artist like that. I'm not built just like that. Maybe if I practiced more, I would have gone, maybe to this level of artisticness. But no, clearly not. Other way, it's called self-esteem. This, basically, yeah, it's a book about Evisor, following his adventures and all that. You'll see the big, now, yeah. And of course, the first book it's called The Practical Zone. Yeah, they're going to be split between, I'm going to show you later in each chapter, but yeah, this is really inspired by this series will be inspired by Undertale and Alphabet, The inspiring parts is some of the aspects, but flipping new rules, flipping some other things around, or editing, or making everything original. You know, that's the whole point. Like, Undertale offered just inspirations, you know, very inspirational to this. And probably, and a few other games, in fact. Like, I'm trying to, you know, yeah. Like, Limbus Company's also another thing that gave me inspiration for this. At least in my opinion, it did. But yeah. As you can see here, this is definitely the main villain. You know, every time, I'll just say it here right now. The main villain, you see it on the first thing, you know, on the first slide. Yeah, it's him. He's gesturing you to come over. Doesn't look like it. It looks more like he's holding out his hand to make like a deal or to, I don't know, give back the money that you owe him or something you owe him. I don't know. Listen, I can't. I just told AI to make it look like it was doing so. Also, why does it have this art style, may I ask? Hey now, I don't know how to make like any good art styles. Like I'm trying to mix it a bit, you know. I want to make some of the art styles in a bit. Sometimes like I might want to experiment more with it. Yeah, this art style is inspired by Forsaken. Let me go look for it. Yeah, that's what it is. It's practically the same art style, maybe a bit different. Maybe, I don't know. I can't tell too much. But yeah, I'm gonna try to, maybe mix up some of the art style for some of these pictures, you know, just to make it seem more realistic to what it actually is. No, but without further ado, let's go in. Chapter 1, A Normal Day. Yep, as you can see here, this is Eversor. Oh, this is him, his house, his mother's car. It's nothing too bad right now. It probably doesn't surprise you. A story about a kid or someone dealing with seemingly governed with. Oh, second, with. Oh, second, I might have to cut this art. I might have to. Okay. It probably doesn't surprise you. A story about a kid or someone dealing with issues revolving around. It probably doesn't surprise you. It probably doesn't surprise you. A story about a kid or someone dealing with issues revolving around the government or having problems they face. It seems the same like that for most stories, because there is always a problem. Problems being faced and usually solved. Problems helping you learn and grow. But in this book, all the problems he wrote, all of what is going to happen would be considered rather unpleasant or confusing to many, and not as normal as you think. So if you value the unknown or anything new, especially story-wise, and that is greatly compelling and gets you thinking, then you may have found the book for you. Well, at least I hope so. Okay, that's what I'm trying to make it. You know, I'm trying to make it philosophically good or interesting. You know, that's the lean in right now. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, our story begins with a guy named Eversor. He was sound asleep till he woke up to the sound of his mother waking him up. Honey, you've gotta get up. You're about to miss the bus. Eversor woke up tired and overall sad as usual. He slumped out of bed like a drunk man. It was as if he was so tired he didn't feel like thinking as much. He got dressed in his classic red shirt and in some fresh blue jeans. He put on his shiny, well-polished golden heart necklace. He left his room and entered the bathroom in his house that most people used, since the only other bathroom was in his parents' room, and that one was mainly reserved for them. He combed his hair for he he combed his hair a little bit till it looked like a normal person's hair. Frank does normal person's hair because his hair usually looked like it could hide rats in it, considering how long and messy it was. It always is. He went. He afterward went into his living room, took his gray cap and his backpack. He keeps it in there He keeps him there and puts his gray hat on backwards and his backpack on his back. He was about to walk out when his mother came rushing forward. She made it to him before he left the house and gave him a hug and a kiss on the head and said, "Have a fun time at college this year, and love you," ever so willingly but grudgingly hugged her back and replied back with, "I will, love you too." Oh, I will, love you too. Before he exited the house and closed the door on the way out. He had now grabbed the giant tote of things and a suitcase as well that he left outside. He drags everything over to a nearby bus stop, which will take him to the college he attends, or he will attend. The bus arrives at its according time. He gets off. The bus arrives at its according time. He gets on and takes a seat somewhere. He sits in that seat, looking out the window, depressed seeming, as if life was horrible, as if he has never seen peace before. Eventually, the bus reaches his, and some other people stop, and he and a few others get off the bus. He takes all of his belongings with him as he gets off the bus. He makes his way to the college, which is surprisingly but unsurprisingly huge. He makes it in and welcomed in, and he makes it in and dang it! He makes it in and is welcomed in gracefully, but he knows that he is only going to college just so he can get a good job and make a living of a sort. After checking in and getting everything sorted, he heads to his dorm room. As he steps inside, everything seems decent. Everything seems as and not as always drowsy. Decent as in not as drowsy as the thought of having to pay taxes and live a never-ending. Hold on a second. Music was playing in the background for me. You probably heard it as well, but yeah, repeating that. Decent as in not as drowsy as the thought of having to pay taxes and live in a never-ending cycle of boredom, conflict, organization, and worst of all, having the possibility of getting a girl and eventually having to raise kids. The kids and taxes part of it especially, since he would need to care for the kids and get them a bunch of necessities and deal with their shenanigans. Also having to pay money just to obtain a roof over his head, and a car, and even a phone. Feels sad having to put money on such things, especially since he could be spending it on much more entertaining or exciting things such as games or new items or any other cool looking or functioning things. But nevertheless, he just accepted the sad and depressing state of life, because he knew nothing could stop it, especially him, who has no experience with such things at all. He had started unpacking everything and arranging everything to his liking. Eventually he got settled when his friend Henry walked in. "Yo, what's good? I'm going to be your roommate for college. Sounds kinda neat, huh?" Eversor did not dislike the idea because he knew he would have hated it more being with some random person he didn't know who was likely going to irresponsibly do things in the dorm room he is in. But at the same time, though, his friend Henry was quite awkward at times and so optimistic that he could attract unnecessary attention towards him, which in Eversor's case is irritating. Irritating because he has some sort of reputation, because then he has some sort of reputation or he gets known around the school, which sounds great, but Eversor knows that if he ever dreams of making a living in such a gloomy world, he would have to focus more on his studies, and more on any of that than friends or the people around him. Henry starts unloading everything joyfully, though Eversor still can't understand how, because how can one feel accomplished when now they have more responsibilities, more things to deal with, plus all of the other tragedies in life, Putting all of it aside, Eversor laid down on his bed, staring into the ceiling, lost in deep thought. Henry noticed Eversor looking a bit bummed out than usual and then said, "What's wrong, dear Eversor? Are you okay, or—" Eversor quickly responded with, "Everything's alright, I promise. I'm doing just fine. Just thinking, you know." Henry immediately understood and said, "Oh, I get it. I know it may seem like a lot, but trust me. Everstar looked over to Henry. Henry then said with a high amount of optimism, "We will make it through. Everything will be okay, and we shall ride our way to the finest of life, even though it may be rough." What do you say? What do you say, pal? For once in a long time, Eversort actually smiled a bit. He felt a bit more comforted, though could not fully drop the way he felt. At least now, he was feeling a little better. All aside, Eversort said, "Yes, we will, buddy." Henry, beaming with excitement, yelled, "That's the spirit, great friend!" Soon they heard someone from a different dorm room yell, "Can you please be quiet?" Henry went silent, then he realized he got a bit too excited and went a bit overboard with it. He then politely says, "Oops, my bad, I'm sorry." The rest of the night went as you expect. They lied down, hung out, and eventually went to sleep, only for them to both wake up the next morning. Sadly enough, Eversor, unlike Henry, who was vibing with readiness and excitement, Eversor was feeling rather drowsy and as if sleep was the only salvation from the world. Eversor slowly got out of bed, went into his closet, kept it closed so he could change inside the closet. He got in some new clothes along with that same old golden heart necklace he keeps on him. Eversor steps out of the closet to see Henry fully dressed as well. They both head out of their dorms, Henry beaming with happiness and joy, upper capital, but Eversor walks out still feeling bummed out. Eversor has no classes with Henry but had one with his only other friend, Landon. When Eversor enters his English class, he takes a seat, waiting for the class to start. And after it starts, after what feels like a few seconds, it ends. It continues like that for most classes, except for math. Math takes so long. It is so boring that it always hurts to just sit there and listen the whole time. It feels as if you were hearing Albert Einstein speaking a whole other language. Probably not even a language at all, just plain gibberish. But at the end of the day, it somehow makes more sense than putting milk in the freezer over the fridge. Honestly, though, at least, you know what, maybe putting, you know, maybe that's good. Okay then. Honestly, though, at the least, he had his friend Landon in that class with him, to which they had done a group project together after the math, to which they got done. But yeah, they both did. They both did not like it. Though Landon did seem pretty gosh darn smart at it, though. He seemed to have had understood it better than anyone else in the class. Well, aside from the teacher, that is. But Eversworth thought to himself that who could really blame Landon for that? I mean, he wanted to become a scientist. I mean, not only that he has the knowledge to be more than that. I mean, not only that, he has the knowledge to be more than that. Or at least it feels that way a lot. Though despite how puzzling it wasn't something to really judge that deeply in Eversource's opinion. Eversource knew he wanted to be a doctor, because it would make him a lot of money. But he decided to prioritize his studies over friends more, because he knew without doing so, he wouldn't make it very close to getting such a profession. Either way, math eventually ended, even despite the fact it never felt like it would, or even despite the fact it never felt like it would. Eversource soon went to lunch, and sadly enough, Henry was already making a reputation. Being so kind, Eversource tried to stay low to make sure Henry wouldn't notice it, so he wouldn't associate with him. Eversworth was close to not being spotted, but Henry spotted him and started giving him a reputation, trying to show everyone how great and kind they are. Soon enough afterwards, a few guys who were acting chill at first decided to head over. They said as they headed over, "Yo, heard you guys were pretty chill, right?" Henry smiled and said, "Yes. What about it?" The group's leader said, "We would love to see that, because after that, we might invite you to our group." Henry smiled, nodded in agreement. Eversworth sighed, not wanting to get involved, said, "Listen, I don't know just yet, but, He pulls in Henry close and whispers in his ear, I don't want to have a reputation this early on." Henry then looks a bit surprised and then whispers back, My bad. I should have asked first. The guy started getting impatient and said, "Hello? We are still here, you know." Henry tries to clear things up. "Oh, sorry. Eversor wanted me to tell me something. Eversor wanted to tell me something privately." The group leader replies in the noise. "I don't think so. Honestly, a bit rude that you didn't even bother saying so as well." Henry was about to apologize when Eversor stepped up and said, "Listen, we're sorry if we were being a bit rude, but I needed to talk to Henry about something serious." The group, clearly blinded by ego, already disagreed, and the group leader said, even more irritated, "Oh, really? I don't believe you. So what could be so important to tell him at this very moment?" Eversor sighed, then replied in irritation, "The fact I don't want a reputation this early." The group leader then yells, "Oh, really? I don't care. Besides, you're already building one by the way you're acting." Eversor then says, even more irritated, "Dude, I am being serious." Like, the group leader interrupts Eversor. "Too late. You have been denied. Case over. Where you win." The group walks away. Eversor is left irritated and leaves, knowing that everybody now has a feeling about him. Eversor, irritated and already sick of college, heads into his next class, then the next, and the next. Soon finishes all of his classes for the day and heads to his dorm and lays down in his bed. He thinks to himself, "These guys are these guys are so like these guys are also like grown adults. Why do they have such an ego?" Henry comes in and says with a guilt in his voice, "Listen, dude, I am sorry. I was only trying to make people think great of you, you know?" Eversor looks at him tiredly and says, "I forgive you." Henry smiles and pulls out his phone and starts doom scrolling. Eversor, already extremely annoyed, already sick of college, and also will be forever until he is freed of this torment. Until he realizes after this type of torment he will have another type, one that is more tormenting. Life, jobs, all of that. He already can't bear the thought, and without any other thoughts, goes to bed, praying that at least he can find some sort of calmness in sleep. At the least, maybe even most. Well, yeah. Guys, that's chapter 1 for you. Yeah, I kept on stuttering a bit. For some reason, I'm not the best at reading things out loud perfectly. I mean, I bet a lot of people are like that sometimes. But it happens to me quite a lot. But yeah, please give me some feedback to this so far. I mean, I think it's pretty good so far. No, this is only book 1. I'm trying to improve as each chapter goes along. As each book goes along. So yeah. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and yeah, see ya. Peace.